don't even think that's gonna work. Let's see. Nope. Okay, that looks like it works. Bam, 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 bam. What up, cat? What up, Gawk Tug? Help me. I am under the water. Hold on. Let me get this set up. I'm a little slow here. Auto find and activate. There we go. What's going on, everybody? How you doing, cat? I'm under the water. You better frickin' swim towards the sky, my brother. Why are you underwater? I'm doing good. Doing good. It's the meme. It's the meme. See, at least you still got to keep positivity, even though the world's burning right now. Unbelievable. You know what? Check this out. Check out how cool I look like this. Ready? Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. Freaking, I'm so stupid. All right, let's see. What did I want to do? Share, you, history, pause, share, Discord, Twitch, YouTube, shit, and bam. Okay, bam. It's so dramatic, and it was accidental too. I was staring at the computer trying to. I was like, how do I do that? And then it was like, boom, boom. Yeah, awesome. Okay, let's see. So dramatic. All right, let's see what's going on in the world. Okay. Let's get ready. B12, everybody. B12, everybody. Everybody get your vitamin D on. Let's talk about the Magnolia. All right. Hold on one second. Oh, no. Oh, there we go. What up, Catra? Getting your... The Magnolia? Yeah, you want to look at that? All right, what's up, Catra? Let's get the vitamin D happening. It looks like blood. How dare you punch me in the mouth? Yes, it's definitely an American thing. Oh, man. Oh. Oh, you know what we should do? Me? Yes. Indiana. Now I'm from Maryland, United States. Sure, it's Skulk Tug. He's from frickin' there, Turkey. Catra's from the United States, and the actual factual cat is from the United States. Where are you from? BC? British Columbia? Just kidding. All right, let's see. All right, let's see. All right, let's see. Where are we? Making magnolia with mastic pudding. You love it? What's mastic pudding? I don't even know what that is. Never heard of mastic pudding. Mastic pudding. Stick pudding. Oh wow, it's known in Turkish as freaking derum. Oh, I broke it. Hold on, I broke it. Okay, there we go. All right. It's known as Sakizli Malabi. In Arabic as Mulabali. Traditional light, creamy, milk-based dessert popular across the eastern Mediterranean and Middle East. It's renowned for its unique aroma, derived from the mastic gum, also known as tears of Chios, a resin from the mastic tree that imparts a refreshing, slightly piney or cedar-like flavor. It's a Greek thing. Basically pistachio. I had some ice cream with mastic. Kind of tastes like medicine. It says slightly piney. Do you know what Sprite, what the flavor of Sprite is flavored after? Like, it says lemon lime, but it wasn't originally lemon lime. It wasn't even from a lemon or lime tree. It was from pine needles. They call it pine needle soda back in the old days. And then a company was like, hey, it tastes like lemon lime. No, it tastes like pine needle soda. Right. So it's like this. Yeah. Let's see. Pine needle soda. Pine needle soda is a fermented, slightly sweet, citrusy drink with a Sprite-like flavor. Made by fermenting pine needles for 3 to 5 days, wild yeast needles to create natural carbonation. And they said, let's use artificial flavors and CO2 to carbonate it so you can make it in the billions of gallons at a time, in a process, rather than having to ferment a batch for 3 to 5 days. I think I'm allergic to it, probably because it's related to pistachios. There you go. There you go. All right, let's see. Mastic flavoring. It says it is it says it is pistachia. It says it's from the Pistachia lentiscus tree. So there you go. Known as white gold, food, cosmetics, medicine, harvested by scoring the bark, resin forms tears with pine-like aroma and flavor. Traditionally chewed as gum Arabic. Antibacterial, ulcers, and digestive issues. Helps all. Yeah, it's amazing what kind of medicines we hear. Weird Sprite definitely tastes like lemon and lime to me. And funny you mentioned pine needles. Pine needle tea is what's recommended to detox from mRNA shots. That's exactly right. That's how I know about it, Kat. Yeah, trust me, it's every day when it comes to Greek stuff. All day, every day. Okay, so mastic pudding. Oh man, that looks so freaking good. That looks so. What's the oil that's in there? What is that oil that's floating around the edges? Is that the mastic or no? It looks like this is just like straight. Like what? I wonder what that is. I wonder what those oily globules are around the outside edge. Unless that's something that's been thickened with the mastic. And then you have like 2 different parts. I wonder. Let's see. Oh man. It looks like capsules. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And this is with the pistachios. Let's call it milk pudding. The Turkish table. Yeah, Kat, that would put you in the hospital. I'm about to send you a pic of mastic ice cream I had over Discord. Okay, for some reason, I think you may have sent it before, but we'll see in a second. Yeah, here it is again, too. There's another one that looks like all those capsules. And that looks like toasted. Like almost like what American what's it called? What is it called? Like not Kama Sutra. Jeez, Richard. Oh, jeez, what's it called? What's the vanilla pudding with the sugar and it's toasted with the blowtorch? Creme brulee. Creme brulee. Mastic aroma is so unique. I sent it to you before. I just said okay. Yeah, I've never seen this one before. All right, let's see. Why doesn't it auto select? Yeah, boy. Let me shrink that down a little bit. Oh, right. Nice. Look at that freaking ice cream, boy. Yeah, Kama Sutra. Jesus loves you, Jack. Thank you, my friend. What up, Julio? I love Jesus too. Only ate a couple of bites because it didn't care for the taste, but like I said, allergic anyway, right? I love Jesus also. You found a good spot, Jack. Welcome to the family, Jack. More important. I would say it's more important more now than ever, but that's not true. But it's very important now. Hey, thank you for joining on Twitch, Julio. The cake with it tasted better. I had this in Athens. Let me switch these over here. There we go. Minecraft will go down here. Discord, Minecraft, Chrome over here. Okay, there we go. All right, there we go. Oh yeah, did I post? Yeah, I posted that link. Yeah, okay. I don't know if it works or not. I didn't even check to see if it works. I think I was supposed to change it. You know what? I think I was supposed to change it. Let me change this real quick while I go back. All right. So I know the Discord server settings invites. Active invite links. Inviter. No way. I hope freaking Chi comes in here. That freaking 6-7 stuff. I was looking to see how many people got invited on the invite, and it says 67 people used this invite. Freaking driving me crazy. Yeah, she was in here last night, Kat. She was in here last night. You want to invade the South Pole? Hey, well, at least you got a plan. Vitamin K2, MK4. What's the difference between garbanzo beans and chickpea? What's up, Robert, brother? My brethren? Okay. The difference between garbanzo beans and chickpeas. Let's see. So garbanzo beans are different plants. I know. Hold on. Garbanzo. Hold on. Are they different? Let me see. Hold on. Let's see. Difference between garbanzo beans and chickpeas. All right. Okay. Garbanzo is Spanish. Chickpea is. Oops. Garbanzo is Spanish. Chickpea is English. Identical product. They're the same legume. Meaning you can use them interchangeably. Chickpea is generally in English and garbanzo in Spanish. There you go. What am I thinking of? What's the other bean that people not soybean. There's another bean that works like chickpea, where chickpea actually, when chickpea grows, it puts nutrition back into the soil. So like after you grow corn and stuff like that, instead of using a bunch of fertilizer, you can add chickpeas, and chickpeas actually take stuff out of the air and put it back into the soil. What's it called? Chickpea-like bean. Not garbanzo. Cannelli, not garbanzo. My bad. Fava beans are also broad beans. Great Northern, navy, and black-eyed peas. Our lucky store. Our singing satellite. Now I should have hung around. I hit the like button, didn't stay long. Yeah, she was here last night all the way till the end. How are to listed? What's happening here? What's going on, Michael? Vermin Supreme Fan Club. Chickpeas actually taste almost like black-eyed peas. They're good. Yeah, they're good. I like chickpeas. I wouldn't want a garbanzo bean in my face. You don't like You don't like chickpeas? We are all beans here. I ate chickpea kebab last week. Yeah. There's some crazy stuff going on, Harshad. Yeah, they're attacking. Yeah, I mean, I only have what our news sources have told us here, and it looks like they've gone ballistic. Yeah. I hope. Apparently, I think it was just like about 10 minutes ago, but it's constantly like they said that they found the Ayatollah's body, but then somebody said that they're going to wait for DNA testing to see if it was actually him or whatnot. I think I ate too much cheese this morning. Heads up, Sergeant Pepper. I like them. I was never exposed to them growing up. Okay, right. Yeah, I wasn't either. I wasn't exposed to them until my sister and my brother became vegans when I was like I was like 15, and so they started eating lots of like hummus and stuff like that. What up, Walter Wigglesworth? I love cheese. Let's see. Wow. Pronounced nuttiness. Okay, right. So for hummus substitutions, yeah, cannelli beans or fava beans are substituted for them in hummus. That's what it was. It wasn't garbanzo. Yeah, garbanzo and what you calls are the same. I'm lactose intolerant. No offense to vegans, but I'm a big carnivore. Me too. Me too. Listen. The problem is we need to help these people. These vegans, especially in America, they don't understand that the food that they are getting will not sustain their life unless they grow it themselves. A lot of our food is picked before it's ripe, and it's ripened with a gas, ethylene gas, for a lot of fruits. And when foods ripen while not still getting nutrition from the ground, they're basically just fiber. So they're eating all this fiber, and that's why their farts stink so bad. And so they've got to grow their own or find farmers markets and stuff. And that's why it's truly so expensive to be a healthy vegan. Yeah. January for Maduro, February for Mencho, Canadian was for Mara. We'll see. We'll see. Jeez. So you tell me about. Brother, look, do you just want to hurt people? Is this your goal, just to hurt people? Like, do you want to be helpful in life to people, or do you want to be unhelpful? Make that decision, and then tell me what you want to do. Why, without any proof, why would you want to push that? What is your goal for pushing that on people? What good could it do? What good could it do? Yes. Why do you think things are going on right now? Absolutely they are. Absolutely they are. They're the ones making the difference. They're the ones making the difference right now. My sister-in-law is vegan, and my God, she is a headache when we shout for it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. But how would it help? How does it help? If a lot of people find solace in this shitty world we live in by believing in God, why would you say, well, don't believe in it because I can't prove it, so therefore it can't be true? That doesn't make any sense. You just want the worst for people. The difference between making laws and women have rights. Wrong. So if you were to learn about those gods that they're following and learn about God, you would learn that people are following false gods. So there's a big difference. The people that also have freedoms in the world, like in America, for instance, are because they're following a god. That's why. That's the whole reason America was started, and that's why everybody wants to get there. If other people follow false gods, what we have to try to do is guide them in another way, not say, well, there is no God, so do whatever you want to people. Women get treated worse when people think they're just atoms and that's it, and it doesn't matter if you treat them bad. Because they vote in laws based on their beliefs. Veritas, you don't have a choice. You don't actually believe anything. Chemicals are making the decision for you. It actually doesn't exist. All of this is according to your logic. Right. It's not logical. The problem is you haven't done enough studying to know what different gods people believe in and which ones are very beneficial to humanity as a whole and which ones are not beneficial to humanity as a whole. You have what's called a category error. You're lumping everything in together as religion. That's not true. Satanists and Muslims are not the same thing. Satanists and Muslims and Christians, they're not the same thing. They're not praying to the same God. Yesterday you did. And I'll pull it. I'm not going to get into it with you because you just want to be hurtful. I hope you. Listen. I hope you feel good when you wake up in the morning. I hope you feel good in the afternoon, and I hope you feel good when you go to bed. I hope you find that and you don't feel like we're worthless here and we can actually do good for people. When you finally get yourself healthy and whatever's wrong with you and you just want to help, I hope and pray that you find that and you can use, because you seem like you want to know what's going on in the world and how it works. You seem to with a name like Veritas. I hope you find it. I hope you find it. Yeah, and there you are. There you are. So you want to push people towards your God. There's your problem. Atheism in my religious anarchy, having a higher creator doesn't allow you a moral set. Not having a higher creator doesn't allow you a moral set. Exactly, right. And the great thing about that is everyone can decide. Then laws can be made saying, here's the foundation, here's the framework on how we're going to treat people. We'll make laws based on that framework. And the problem with new religions like Satanism is that they keep they're currently creating it. So humans can change their mind and add to the religion on their whims. And that's the problem. Using something that hasn't changed for 2,000 years is very good because it's a set foundation. It lies stability. What's wrong with me is that people dismiss their logic. No, brother, no, you just haven't learned what like, have you looked up the logical reasons for believing in God? Have you looked that up? No, you haven't. If you have, you just want to hurt people. That's it. It's you're not the first lost soul to stroll in here, my friend. My address, my IP address, Jen. God that drowns all the babies of the world. And that's, well, ask your satanic God why he did that or what he did to cause that to happen. Listen, you haven't learned anything. Look, you listen to people. You listen to people and repeat them. That's all you do, brother. I hope you find solace in it. I hope you do. What up, Fadiel? What up? You serious? Yeah. No, I know. Yeah, and I hope he does. I hope he lives up to his name. I understand he's very young. I understand that. Satanists don't believe in Stan. Are you a Satanist, Veritas? Are you a Satanist? You've got the floor. You got the floor. What are you, my friend? What are you, my friend? What are you, brother? What are you? Speak. Tell me. What do you want for the world? How would you like to give information to the world? What would you like the world to know about you? About when you have children, how you want your children to grow up, how you want them to react and relate to the world, how you keep them safe. What is that? What do you believe, my friend? And then how do you get that information? All right, thank you, brother. Right, me too. When did you decide what was true? What convinced you? When did you stop learning? What got me to this point is I was like you, but I wasn't mean, and I didn't believe in God. And then I kept learning. I learned the physics. I learned the biology. I learned the chemistry. And then I got into astrophysics. And that's where I got to the point where I was like, there's something more to this. Let's see what the other side is saying. And then I got to the point where I was like, okay, there's a creator. Now let's look into the world's religions and see how things go. And I believe you'll get there too. Some Satanists do believe in Satan. Right. Okay, all right, brother. What up, nice guy? Do you care or do you just want to hurt people? Do you care or do you just want to hurt people? If you care, I can send you a 300-page compendium, if you can do the math. That's over 300 reasons that many have just been added to this list in the past 3 months. And you can go through it. You haven't looked up. You haven't looked into it because you don't want to. Somebody convinced you when you were young that there is no God for whatever reason, and they told you things that happened. You don't know why God did that. Some people lied to you and told you an all-loving God that wouldn't hurt. Not that God should be feared. You don't know what the religions you're talking about says, and I hope you find it. I believe the spirit is more parallel with the electrical parallel. Hey brother, I'm. This is the thing is now that I know that there is a spirit, that's where my scientific studies are going, is to see what, and I agree with you, David, absolutely. No, you don't. You want to try to shoot it down. I've got thousands of reasons. Thousands. You just want to try to hurt people. I believe in God. I believed in God for a long time. I didn't believe in Jesus till I saw how corrupt the world was in 2020. Right? So why worry if we're just convinced or not? Listen, he's still at the hurt. He's still hurt. He hasn't found peace yet. And when you learn about the brain, learn about how we can't trigger logic in the brain. People don't have seizures and start spouting math or logic. We can't trigger that. We study the brain, but you haven't looked into that. You haven't looked into like why we can't find the soul in the brain, why we can't make people have logical thoughts in the brain, because it's not in the brain. We've tried to find the soul. Science tried to find the soul and it can't. It's something outside of that. We can't trigger love in the brain. Leviticus 25. Dude, what? Leviticus 25. Okay, the land itself must observe a Sabbath to the Lord. Right. And you know the difference between the Old Testament and the New? You don't. And do you believe it needs to, do you need 1,000 sons to believe this? Brother, you do. You do. Okay, I thought Jesus died for our sins so we didn't have to go to get to heaven. That's right. That's exactly right. Belief doesn't look for reason. It's not science. What up, Borshell? Science is the study of the physical, right? The natural, and then deism is the study of the supernatural. You need to accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior and go to heaven. Why can't we find the soul? What good evidence do you have, brother? Why don't you follow it? I'm not here to teach you that. I'm telling you it's out there, and you're just saying it's not. Okay, so we can say, is there any scientific evidence that the soul exists? All right, let's just ask to see what comes up. Okay. Because science focuses on studying the material physical universe, and immaterial non-physics soul falls outside the domain of science. You've got to look, brother. I promise you. The Lord, God, heart and soul. There you go, my brother. Everyone hit that like button. Yeah, Borshell's been back. He came back the other day. We only get you if you don't want to exist. At Veritas, we only get it. We get it, right? You don't want to exist, and you want, right? Misery loves company, right? And there's the New Testament, and there's a bunch of other religions around the world. Read all of them. Listen, why wouldn't you read them just for the history? You know, science can't replicate history, right? Do you know why colleges have more than one department? To find the truth. So everybody works in their own department, and then they come together. Whatever science you studied hasn't got there, but you're not willing to look at the other sciences. Why do they have theology in colleges? Why do the colleges study religion? Because they're stupid. Right, brother, right. Yes, right. And people like you are slaves. You're stuck. Your brain is stuck. You're a slave. And you have to learn the difference between slaves. You have to learn the difference between slaves back then. Like, we still have slaves today. We still have Democrats saying we want slaves. There's over 5 million slaves in Africa right now. Now, the Bible tells you if you come across people with slaves, make sure you create a legal system that doesn't allow them to abuse their slaves. Yeah, there's a difference between chattel slavery and slavery. Slavery is paying people less or nothing for their work. Right, but you should still feed them and clothe them and house them, and it should only be a set time. You just don't know what you're talking about. Jesus said in the New Testament, follow the commandments. Yeah. Right, but he doesn't know the difference either way. I'm all about faith. I feel I need science to prove the existence of the soul. Soul feels radiating off of beings. Right, right. He just listen. When you're young, you have very little experiences, and you get fed by swipe, swipe, swipe. And I understand that. I understand why people are into this thing. Faith is the reason people get right. But you have faith. You have faith in your beliefs. Don't you realize that? You haven't even looked into this, and you have faith that these people told you the truth. Whoever did, you have faith that God doesn't exist. That's faith. You have strong faith. You have conviction, my friend. Everyone in the world is right, right. But slavery is bad. Then why does everybody do it? Science and spirituality are two different aspects. Science gives you logical reasoning. Spirituality gives you belief. And right, and one can't disprove the other. It's not a good reason to you, but I'm an empirically minded person. I operate off my perception and intuition. No, they could beat them. What is addiction? So chemical addiction, so new. So you have things in your body, like for talking about like opiates. You have opiate receptors. Your body makes natural opiates. And so when you get hurt, when you get happy, sad, like they can go into receptors in your brain and in your gut. If you start taking them from outside sources, your body stops making them. An outside source is filling those receptors. When you stop taking them, you then go into a withdrawal period. That's the period when you stop taking outside substances and your body resets to start making them itself. That gap period, so that's chemical addiction. There's psychological addiction, like where you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again because you're expecting some result from it. Yeah, faith is weird. It definitely is weird. I don't defend slavery. Okay, all right. All right, he never said God doesn't exist. But you shouldn't, because you can't prove it, right? Right. And that's the thing. You shouldn't be an atheist. You should be an agnostic until you find God. Are we stuck inside the eternal matrix? That's what we're all looking to find out, right? What's bad? Slavery or hold on. Slavery's bad for you? Addiction or both? An all-knowing, unchanging God couldn't tell people not to own slaves. An all-knowing, unchanging God couldn't tell people not to own slaves. Do you understand that some people are slaves? And so some people are slaves to their mentality. How do you treat them? Some people say, I'm in a bad place. I'll work for you for free to get food and shelter because I don't want to die. Those are slaves. Chattel slavery is a different thing, brother. You have a category error. You'll learn it. Listen, just because you don't want slavery to exist, Satan, evil exists too. So people are going to be tricked into these things. How do we treat them while they're in there, while they're in that mode? Can we still treat people well while they're in their slave mindset? Instead, he takes time to tell you not to eat shellfish and water mixed with it. It says you don't own no people. You don't know what you're talking about, brother. What if you were the guy to make the rules, how would you teach people to treat slaves? You say, we don't have any slaves. Okay, when somebody comes to you and says, I will work for you for free to get food and water, what would you call them? Okay, as a broad statement. A lot of people, dude, if you look at the Egyptians, when you learn about the Egyptians and how the Egyptian slaves happened, they had a famine. A bunch of people in Egypt lost the ability to make grain. So they went to another area in Egypt and said, we're starving to death. Please, we will be enslaved to you until we can get ourselves out of this trouble. You have category problems. We all do, so new. We all do to something or another. And these are what's called your cross to bear. The hydrogen bomb was promised to them 3,000 years ago. And you can't... But we have zero evidence for flying unicorns. The fact that you're here proves that we have been created. What people mean by God. My definition of God is the creator of the universe, the creator of everything natural and unnatural. You don't understand word meanings if they don't actively believe in a God and they don't actually know God. Faith is much like air; it's intangible, right? Like you have faith that the chefs making your food, the cooks making your food, aren't going to poison it. You have a lot more faith than you know. What is Satan? Evil is a cult in some corner of earth. So everything has an opposite. In order for there to be good, you have to be able to experience good. So you have to be able to tell it's good. How can you tell it's good if you don't know what bad is, right? Oh, religion is an addiction. Some people it is, yeah. Did God treat the 70,000 soldiers well when they ended them with King David's census? Brother, were they bad people? Were they good people? What happened? Did you read the rest of the story? Listen, you can find God without the Bible. Do you understand that? Do you understand that? Well said, Mel. What kind of logic is that? No shellfish, but you don't own your own people. You're defending slavery. Listen, just because it exists, how are you supposed to handle it? Don't you understand evil exists? Like you're an evil. You're a slave to your own mindset. And I'm trying to treat you well. If you came here still a slave to your own mindset, I would feed you and shelter you. Don't you understand that evil creates slavery? And non-knowing, uncaring creates slavery. But how are you going to treat those slaves until they can find their way out of what you don't know what you're talking about. You're asserting creation and you're asserting everything. God just freed the Iranian people. Bam, there you go. Exactly. We're talking to each other. Jeez. Agnostic is a knowledge claim. Atheist is a belief claim. All right, what are you? All right, the human body is more complicated than any machine out there. Right. And look, just looking at DNA, you'll know that we were created. Once you get enough knowledge, Veritas, I say don't own people. Easy. But when people come to you and say, I'm dying and I need to trade you, you don't know the difference between chattel slavery and slavery. No one's saying it's good, but people make themselves slaves in times. People say, I'm going to die. You don't understand. You just don't know what you're talking about yet. You'll get there. Keep trying. What up, Georgie? Veritas asking Chat GPT for not right. It's all this stuff's everything you're saying to me has a million rebuttals to it, and you can find it, but you just don't want to. Why God can't? Why don't you ask? Why don't you look into that? You didn't even look for it. You're just asking for argumentation. All right, what about DNA show we're created? The fact that DNA. You time in the gaps, guys, thinks we have millions of billions of years for DNA to come out of a puddle. But who created the puddle? And actually, when you look at RNA synthesis, you have 4 hours. You have 4 hours from the time the backbone of RNA is made for the nucleotides to connect, not billions of years. You haven't looked into it. It was not chattel slavery. Exactly. When you hear slavery, you think African slavery. You don't know what slavery is. Listen, you're getting there, brother. I'll help you. The interesting thing about Jewish slavery is 7 years Jubilee celebration that freed the slaves. Right. Like he doesn't know the difference between indentured servitude, slavery, and lifelong slavery, and some slaves, indentured servitude, they put themselves in slavery. So how do you treat them? People that put themselves in indentured servitude, how should you treat them? I lost all respect for you. You can't attribute slavery thousands of years ago for slavery 500 years ago. Farming was more like it. Yeah, and you're using time in the gaps. You don't know what you're talking about. No military is doing God's work. Stop that. As but from their point of view, right? As flower expresses its fragrance, just as nature's better to express ourselves, right? Indoctrinated into oblivion, hopelessness. Exodus 31. Okay, so 7 years. Right. You listen. Just because they were explaining what's happening at the time and how to treat the people, you just don't know what you're talking about, brother. And I understand that. You'll get there. You're right there. Right. That's a history book, right? History happened. If you look at your history books, it'll tell you about slavery too. And remember, not everybody's good. When I tried to imagine what the creation of Adam looked like, I imagined lighting and fusion, enough molecules in hand. Well, that's why we call Adam, or atoms after Adam. It also outlines that women slaves can't go free, and you can beat your slaves as long as they don't end. Cool. Thanks, brother. Veritas, you shouldn't. If you don't like the Christian God, you should go look into deism. Right, he's not going to. He doesn't know what he's talking about. The problem is he set himself up for failure by using a name like Veritas. Veritas means truth. And just because he doesn't agree with something, he's saying it's not true. You aren't the one that created this freaking PvP server we call creation. You didn't do it. You don't get to set the rules. It doesn't matter. If not they, the God of the Bible. You don't know what you're talking about. I think the concept of creator is egocentric projection to reality. Okay. Is that really why Adam is a Greek word? Yeah, I mean that's what I was told. Why we call it the atom was supposed to be the beginning block, and why they called atom atom. We'd have to look at it up. The problem is there's no good reason. Okay, then don't, brother, don't. Then don't. Right? Isn't that easy? Isn't that easy? Then don't. Boom. Cool. You want to talk about physics? Now he's in high school. There's no way. Yeah. Let's say not even a college age. Yeah, right. And it's obvious. You haven't even. You've only heard the very small topics. You haven't looked into the why of anything. That's where you'll find out that. And listen, just because you want the creator of this entire experiment here to to agree with you doesn't make it fact. Science says we are nothing, but science says we are nothing, but know everything. They say a lot of things, and there's a lot of competing subjects. And the problem is like this. The big problem right now is so many people got made fooled of from Piltdown Man. The Piltdown Man was the experiment, the hoax in 1914 or 1904, where they found the missing link between humans and chimpanzees. When that was found, they said, the evolution's correct. So they taught it for 50 years, 43 years. And then people have had degrees and started curriculums and created college, university curriculums on all this. And then in the 50s, they found out it was wrong. But because everybody would then lose their PhDs and their social standing, because it was all bullshit. They all believed it. So now you still have it leaked through because so many people have been taught from false stuff. I'm double the college age. Fun fact, Adam in Greek, that's also mean person. There you go. Determinism versus free will. Free will. Science doesn't say it know everything. Right. Yeah, right. You're not science. Define knowledge. It's what it's the information that we gain from our experiences that we can pass on. I've had a professor explain the difference between atom and the atom, and they said they're both the first building blocks. Yes. Science is the best method we have explaining the natural world. Do you have a better method? No. Use science. Absolutely. 100%. Use science for the natural world. What are you talking about? What is experience? Oh, I gotta pee. Science literally claims to be the truth. Right? Veritas. Veritas. What does veritas mean? It means truth. It's the Latin word for truth, and he doesn't know the truth. Pizza. Yo, where did pizza? Veritas, you're on a good way. He's on his way. Yeah, he'll figure it out. I know where he's at. It's the same place all of us were, right? All right, let's see. Did you mean predeterminism? Natural line, truth and reason. I have the word veritas tattooed on my neck. Yeah. All right, Robert, show me evidence support your brother. No one. You need to do that on your own. You need to find the truth. You labeled yourself truth. You need to find it. There's a science YouTube channel called Veritasium. Yes. He's a 10 out of 100, as the truckers say. He's almost there. He'll get there. Yeah. It sucks. Listen, it sucks. It sucks being in his position. And I understand. So that's why I'm not trying to be hateful towards him. I understand he'll get there because he's in search of it. But he doesn't understand that he's not old enough and hasn't had enough experiences, because the reason people get to existential crisis mode is because they realize that everything that they learned in school was only the beginning of the education. You learn more outside of school than you'll ever learn inside of a classroom. Yes, I value truth, and you cannot verify the truth. Can science verify the truth? Is science ever wrong? Okay, you're in your 40s. Dude, you said yesterday. Okay, whatever. Good. Then you're behind. What is the self? Well, that's a very interesting conversation to have. Let's see if we can find a good video. This is a big thing because a lot of people have issues separating themselves from the group, and some people consider themselves an identity. So look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Do you know what self-evident? It's self-evident. Self-evident. Let me see. I don't know. I don't know what these people are going to say. We'll just try to see if we get some information to start a conversation.
Because if a truth is self-evident, do you need to say that it's self-evident?
All right. Okay. Here we go.
No, it's so self-evident you don't need to say, oh, this is self-evident, by the way, because for 90 years after this document was signed, slavery was still legal in the United States. For 145 years after this document was signed, women were denied the right to vote.
Science-based is the best.
So the people who found these
based on the available evidence, and we keep finding new evidence. The problem is the science you're taught in high school and college is from books that were written before previous to the years that you're in school. The book that you get the first day in 9th grade is written in the past freaking 8-10 years, and they're not quite. It's too expensive. That's why it's supposed to be a starting point. Science gives us, how many people are learning from social media? This is why right. Science claims to be the truth and they change. Exactly. They keep moving the goalpost. You're so new. Anytime science is revisited, is better science. Right, but that means it was wrong before in lots of times. Like I'm telling you, we believed the Piltdown man. Everyone believed. Science believed that evolution from chimpanzees to human happened because we had evidence. The evidence was false. It was a hoax. So science had to change. So science can be wrong and it can redirect. And I tell people that it failed, and then it redirected. Flying helicopter fart, brother. Right, COVID, right. Exactly. Trust the science, Veritas. What science? What science? There's a lot of science out there. You're only looking at a very small fraction of it. What happens as slavery, AI, robotics arrive? What happens? Right. Then what happens? Are the AIs now slaves? Right. Science ignores the evidence. It's inconvenient. That's the problem. Ego gets in the way. People want to be famous because look, we'll watch this again. Piltdown man hoax. Pilt.
He took the pieces of bone and stained them.
So you have to believe that too. You have to have faith that when they're telling you the universe has always been here, they don't have evidence of that. So you have to have faith that that's true, because you can never know. You have to have faith that the people that are writing the papers aren't lying. That's why you do peer reviewed. But the problem with a lot of science is they're already biased. If it's an atheist scientist, he's already biased, right? That's why agnostic scientists are what can't be named? I don't know. Likely to come out later. All right. Stop your cap, man. Give my channel some attention. Hey, whatever, 10 light. That's getting right. He doesn't talk to anybody.
Darker and filed down ape teeth to make them look.
Right, and that's what he was doing. That's what this guy here that we're watching right now. He tried to get famous because there was a theory of evolution, but the theory was made before we even knew what DNA was. But the problem is the printing press and typewriters, and we were able to make a bunch of school books based on lies, and they're still going on. And because when this lie came out, when this hoax happened, so many people were like, wow, I guess we did evolve. But it's still, where did the first cell come from? Where did the first DNA? And that's when you look into chemical creation. That's when you really start to find it, because the chemistry, they say, doesn't work, but you'll find it.
worn. You see, some say the man wanted to become a
At least it's my
famous
hubby.
scientist, so he buried the pieces next to some animal
Probably.
bones. And when he dug them back up, he claimed he had found the missing
I know
link
about.
between
You're
humans
talking
and
about Lucy, the last common ancestor. Luca? Are you talking about Luca? Are you talking about Luca? I think that's what you're talking about.
apes.
Robert
He was
Delight,
praised for his work.
Right. So Veritas, you just start making fun of people. Right. I understand how it works, but listen, that's old, dude. This sprinkling of knowledge, wannabe intellectual shtick got freaking destroyed in the past freaking 2 years. No one, yeah.
But decades later, scientists discovered the
Right, science, right. But do you know how much science is involved in science? You're saying science like it's one thing. Do you know that it's hundreds of thousands of people saying hundreds of thousands of things? Some of them agree and some of them don't. And that's the problem, is what science are you looking at? And did you look at the science on the other side? Just because it's in your book, that's the axiom as that in that book. The axiom says we are going to speak in this book like this is the truth. But it's not the truth. It's just the current accepted theory. You'll get there, brother.
skull pieces were from a modern human,
Lucy
while
being
the
the queen
jaw
of the
was
African-
taken from an orangutan,
I
and they
don't know. I'm
realized
looking
that
it
it
up.
was nothing more than just a hoax.
Right. Because that's history. That's why. Do you understand what you're talking about? You again have a category error. Religion is the history. The religious texts are the history. Yes, you don't revise history. Science you can revise. I think you did. We're coming back at these things I call you. Okay, science hasn't proved the origin of the universe or consciousness or right. It's a bunch of theories, and some people believe it and some people don't. All right, cat girl. How can space bend light? So you can bend light too, Sonu. Gravity can bend light. Magnetism can bend light. We do a thing called magnetic lensing to aim lasers. The reason old school televisions used to work is we fired an electron beam at a phosphor screen that it lit up when the electrons hit it, and then we used magnets to move it around the screen to paint the screen. Veritas, yeah. He's embarrassed. I understand. He'll get over it. We'll be friends in a year. I got everyone. As long as you call me. Right, and you believe what you're told from people that don't have good evidence for it. What is worse? At least there's a history of people believing in that. When new science comes out and you believe it right away, you believe it even though it changes all the time. You don't know the intellectually honest answer. You're not a magical. Right. You just want to hurt people because you haven't proven if there's a magical God or not. You don't know. You're just trying to hurt people. We don't know. Yeah. You don't know what you just want to hurt people. Right. Rich, go to like my short. Okay, let's check it out. Let's go check it out. Oops. Veritas, that is the point. Belief seeks no evidence. That's why it's called belief. Right. We already believe it. The problem is you believe, you're so used to being lied to over and over again. You're so used to being lied to over and over again that you're taking it as the truth. Just because, now they finally solved that problem, so this is the truth. Oh, they just solved it again? Okay. Oh, again? And it's different, right? Just like, yeah. We got it, brother. What is reduction? We'll get into that. Let's do one thing at a time. Veritas just saying, right? Yeah. He can't say that. Right. And do you understand, Veritas, that some people have been convinced, so they don't need to believe anymore. They're now convinced. You just haven't gotten enough data to believe yet. And that's the problem. And you just don't believe that you ever will. You have faith that you'll never find evidence for a creator. That's where you're at. Okay, sorry, ND. Hold on. Daily time travel. All right, let's watch it. Jeez.
The most trusted American.
All right, hold on. Let's make it a little bit of that.
ally in Vietnam was killed by America itself. It's 1954. Saigon, South Vietnam. A Catholic politician becomes president of the new republic, handpicked and funded by the CIA. He crushes communist rebels and builds a government from nothing. American dollars flow in, and advisors call him their greatest success story. He believes Washington will never abandon him, staking everything on American loyalty. For years, he rules with their blessing. But his authoritarian methods embarrass his sponsors, and a secret plan takes shape. On November 1st, rebel generals surround the presidential palace. He calls the American ambassador, expecting rescue. The line goes dead. Tanks roll through Saigon streets, and by dawn, he's executed in the back of an armored car. The most trusted American ally was Ngo Dinh Diem.
No
The
Dinh
most
Diem.
trusted
Kick ass, brother. Keep on going. Bam. Keep on creating. Bam. All right, let's say semantics, faith, and belief. Apparently, you can't give me a say. Listen, you've got to find that. You don't understand how strong your bias is. You should use your science to learn what bias is and to learn why you're having such a hard time understanding what other people already understand. You'll figure it out, my buddy. Truth versus belief versus intellectual honesty. It's not Richard's duty to do. Right. Absolutely not. It's your duty to do that, especially as with a name like Veritas. You don't know what the truth is, but you want to just hurt people's feelings because no one cares about differences between belief and faith. It's interchangeable in society. Right. If he believes in the Christian God, the Peter 3:15. So you don't believe, correct? Veritas, you don't believe, right? You're a non-believer, correct? Correct? I was thinking about posting a video like that each day, random mystical course. You should. No, absolutely, my brother, absolutely. What I don't have to, right? What I don't like about religion is when it makes you feel small and insignificant when the opposite. The problem is with a lot of people is that's what a secular science does. It's not only does it make you feel small, it also tells you you're worthless, like that you have no value to other people except for what you can do for them. Yeah, vision tells the truth. Yes, I do. Listen, not when you're trying to hurt people. You should be prepared to respond. Absolutely. But I'm not going. Listen. That's if you were here with me in public, I would do a lot for you. But I have a lot of people here. I'm not giving you my 100% attention because you don't want to believe. I've given you ways. I've already given you ways. If you keep coming back and back and back to saying no, you're just not looking. So you're what's called a troll. What up? But I already have. Yeah, that's the thing. Just because but you say, no, it's magic. So you don't care. Right, that's the problem. Waves, that's everything's waves. The translation of the book recommends, does God? Rob, you just said it have to be ready to give me. I already gave you answers. I already gave you a lot. A speck of dust in the infinite universe. Mindset is low crane. I agree. I guess. I already told you that. The chemical, going against the chemical reason that we're here, the chemical reason that we can't self-replicate chemistry in a stereocentric, in the stereocentric chemistry to make RNA, you have 4 hours to go from binding the RNA molecule to binding into the nucleotides to make RNA, right? And that has to be done in a chemical bath that everything is stereo. It's got all the left-handed and right-handed molecules. They all have to be left-handed. In everything we would do in nature, it would be mixed up. Something has to be able to separate that. In order for us to make that in a lab assistant or a chemist has to do that. So we can't even get close to life. And there's a good starting point for you. The science can't disprove it, and a lot of evidence keeps saying it's there. And I'm telling you, you can go to look at it. What's up? Yep. Iran, that's going crazy. Trust, brother. You say yeah, and I'm not. And I told you that they're out there. I'm not. You you're a bad person. And I told you that it's out there, and I told you to go seek. Richard, I gave you his reason. The Bible doesn't say, right, yeah, I don't have to convert you. Right. Because all of the scientific evidence, and I told you all about the brain. I told you about how we can't find the soul. The only thing we have on this planet is historical evidence, and that we're currently here. That's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm telling you, and I'm telling you to go seek. It doesn't get you any closer. Learn what bias is. Okay, I'll be a good professor, teacher. You'll be a good. I think that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, he's not convinced. That's fine. Yeah, right. He's got plenty of time to, Yeah, I'm on fire. If any of the top scientists aren't religious, what do you see? And this, you don't know what you're talking about. They absolutely are. Okay, you're just a liar. Nobel Prize by religion. 65% of all Nobel Prize laureates identified as Christian. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. 78.3% of all Nobel Prizes in peace, 74% in chemistry, 65 in physics, and 62. More people that believe in God do good chemistry than you. You don't know what you're talking about. You do it. We're going to go on. Okay, I'm doing good. Dude, you can be a scientist and be wrong. What are you talking about? We're talking about accomplished scientists. You're a scientist and you ain't and you're a non-believer and you're not doing anything. You're not doing anything good with science. You can do science. You can mix together freaking baking soda and vinegar. I'm a scientist, but you're not doing anything good. All right, he's saying astrophysics are not religious. That's no. There's lots of them. That's lots of them. Christian astrophysicists. Yeah, there's plenty of them. You're just not looking at them. Oops. You're just not looking at them. There's plenty of them. What did I just do there? I broke something. Oops. There we go. Okay. Not use Nobel Prize winners. You're not using good logic. How's it not good logic? A well-known 1998 survey by sociologist historian Wim found a number of scientists academy said 7% of the National Academy of Sciences. Now go look up why. Because most of them, 73%, hide their religious affiliations because people like you. You don't know what you're talking about. Okay. All right. What are we up to today, guys? Right. Do you know what agnostic means? All right. What's going on, Shiva? Run's going crazy. Yeah, brother. Yeah, I know. Hey, thank you, fish sticks, brother. Uh-oh, there it is. Bam. Thank you, my friend. Yes, do you see how you're acting? Can you imagine scientists trying to win Nobel Prizes and people like you be like, I can't believe you're even going to try that. No, so atheists are atheists. They do not believe. They think they're usually naturalists. They think nature created nature. You're learning, my friend. You're learning. But the scientists say, right, and who cares if the Academy of Science at one point, yeah. You just haven't looked. Do you want to know about price? I'm gonna work on it. I'm gonna get it. Dubai, yes, dude. Yeah, let's look up some of that stuff. I'm done. Okay. Dubai currently under attack. Not MI. Oh, jeez, dude. Oh, man.
Holy mother. Vas-y, j'ai envie de dire à Sarah de descendre, on se calme.
One miss? Oh, jeez. It is, yeah.
Ouais, mais quand même, peut-être pas être pour incident.
Yeah.
Ah, c'est permis. Putain, tu l'es où? C'est pas-
It's all right, Robert. Yeah. It's not never right. Never was the safest city, right? But bombs is definitely a different thing. Yeah, be kind now. Right. People are dying. Be kind.
Scrap wood and
Oops. Oh, jeez.
C'est Louis. Сейчас будут мои
This is
Video just
Dubai.
в CNN.
That's what we do here.
Знаете, что переживаю больше всего? Когда эта штука не закончится, можно
Mary Fairmont.
Big
Qua
up, bloke
davanti.
from England. Dubai never did.
Proprio di fronte a casa, cazzo.
Chia, guarda, qua proprio Chia. Mi sento
No,
male, ti
it
prego.
wasn't. It wasn't considered one of the safest cities. Is that what Porchel said? Dubai was never the safest city. No, I agree, Veritas. There's nobody cares about the semantics. Yeah, we're all right with that. We're done. I'm done with that. He's on a search. He'll find it. I gave him what he needs. What did Dubai do? Iran attacked Dubai.
Là, il y a un putain de missile.
Holy mother.
So
envie de
we'll
dire à
talk
Sarah
about it in
de
just a
descendre,
second.
on se calme.
Iran, there was a big build up. China left Iran. Americans left Iran embassy. Iran attacked a U.S. naval base in Tehran, Bahrain, and then all hell broke loose. Apparently, the Ayatollah is dead. Bunker Buster took him out. Apparently they found the body that they think's his, but they got to do DNA tests. And so the Iranian security forces are now attacking everybody, Muslim and Christian, that they are either don't like or that didn't help protect them. So they're just anybody that has anything to do with America or the UK. They're just going. So you've got forces that are their own groups of just hateful people that just want people to die. They just want to hurt people. And so they're like, hey, if we're gonna end up, we're being overthrown now. So Trump just said to the Iranian people, he said, there's going to be a lot of bombs going off. Let me see if I can find it real quick. It's moving. He's like, then he's saying, take over your own government. He's like, this is the only chance you're going to get in the next 30 years. Trump's speech to the Iranian people.
A short time ago, the United States military began major combat operations in Iran. Our objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime, a vicious group of very hard, terrible people. Its menacing activities directly endanger the United States, our troops, our bases overseas, and our allies throughout the world. For 47 years, the Iranian regime has chanted death to America and waged an unending campaign of bloodshed and mass murder, targeting the United States, our troops, and the innocent people in many, many countries. Among the regime's very first acts was to back a violent takeover of the U.S. Embassy in Tehran, holding dozens of American hostages
That was probably
for
the mistake.
444 days. In 1983, Iran's proxies carried out the Marine barracks bombing in Beirut that killed 241 American military personnel. In 2000, they knew and were probably involved with the attack on the USS Cole. Many died. Iranian forces killed and maimed hundreds of American service members in Iraq. The regime's proxies have continued to launch countless attacks against American forces stationed in the Middle East in recent years, as well as U.S. naval and commercial vessels and international shipping lanes. It's been mass terror, and we're not going to put up with it any longer.
That's not what I wanted him to say. Or not the part. Iranian people to take their government. There you go.
Finally, to the great, proud
There you
people
go.
of Iran, I say tonight that the hour of your freedom is at hand. Stay sheltered. Don't leave your home. It's very dangerous outside. Bombs will be dropping everywhere. When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take. This will be probably your only chance for generations. For many years, you have asked for America's help, but you never got it. No president was willing to do what I am willing to do tonight. Now you have a president who is giving you what you want. So let's see how you respond. America is backing you with overwhelming strength and devastating force. Now is the time to seize control of your destiny and to unleash the prosperous and glorious future that is close within your reach. This is the moment for action. Do not let it pass.
Yeah. So, daily business, of course, false flag, billionaires making more. Right, sure. That's why. So the people in the upper echelons of government said, "Yeah, this is done. It's time. It's time to stop. It's time to stop the wackadoodles." And they said, "We're gonna bomb the shit out of them, so get safe." Because like now, like what Iran, and it's not the Iranian people, it's the Iranian government that uses their people. Look, they're shooting people that won't do suicide attacks. I want you to go put this in. No, boom, and it's like, so now you've got a bunch of this stuff going on because people, they won't be alive if they stay there, and they won't be alive if they go blow themselves up somewhere. So now, like, hey, if the Iran, but this is the thing that we don't know, and I know I'm a freaking wacky ass but there's definitely going to be a cohort of people that will be taking the reins, and I'm sure that was preset, but there was who's supposed to be the king of Persia, the prince of Persia, the son, or I don't know his title, but apparently he's saying to the Iranians, after this smoke clears, and what they're chanting online is they want the monarchy back. They're tired of the split up government, the split people. It's hilarious that Qatar took a big hit from Iran. They always supported the... Yep, right. And that's the problem. When you work with people that want to hurt other people, they will hurt you too. Evil exists. Yeah, it looks like it. No, I doubt it. No, yeah. Daily, billionaire. Yeah, me too. So they're saying 4 days, 4 to 5 days. They said just a little bit ago, we wanted to do it in one hit, but there's like I said, a lot of terror cells like Dubai didn't expect to get hit. Right. So now it got deeper. So now they went from 1 day to 4 to 5 days, which I'm glad it's not a 40-year war that, just like what Borchell was saying, the Billionaires Club that will get right. We'll see. One war at a time. Trump. One more war that Trump will stop. But first, you have to start it. Trump as usual, right? I don't think it. Yeah. I feel bad for the children too, dude. There's people. If you can get I can't show it because I'm a partner. It's YouTube, so I can't show the stuff it's graphic as all get out too. But if you guys, I would say look for it. It's out there. It's out there. It's definitely on things like X, Al Jazeera. You can find the people. They're in the streets and there's bombs going off and the women are absolutely shrieking in excitement because they will finally be free. They've been squashed by a government for 47 years and like it's amazing what's happened. It's amazing what happens when good people say it's time for bad things to stop happening. And hate is profitable. It's really profitable. It's profitable to tear people down because people that are also, they feel bad all the time. They don't really want to be here. Misery loves company. No, Sprite was endorsed by Nazi. I didn't say Sprite was originally Pine Needle. I didn't say that. I said that Sprite wasn't lemon lime flavored. It used artificial flavorings that was trying to copy the flavor of Pine Needle tea. Formula is but it's not lemon or lime. Okay. You just don't know the history, my friend. Where are you? Where are you getting it from? How Pine Needle tea was turned into Sprite. So it depends how you ask for things is how you get them. You have to understand what bias is, my friend. Bias is the reason that me and you are disconnected. You can absolutely find the information you're looking for, and then you can take the evidence on both sides, and the truth lies somewhere in between. Again, Iran's motives was not to attack the Middle East countries, but only American bases set up in those countries. Right. Yeah, right. Well, that's definitely what they're going to say. Right? That's definitely what they're going to say because they don't want more people piling onto them. But they shouldn't have done that, dude. What's that? The Khalifa, what's it called? The biggest tower in the world. Iran tried to take that down, and they missed it. They hit near the base of it. Like, why'd they try to take that out? That's like a hotel and a business building. That's not a military target. And they just missed. First of all, Veritas, I never said that. I said the company tried to make a mass-produced version of the popular pine needle tea, but because pine needle tea is fermented to make the carbonate, to make the flavor, and to make it bubbly, they used lemon and lime flavors and carbon dioxide. Just because you don't like me doesn't mean I'm wrong. You're coming at knowledge with hatred. That's not how you learn. Trump wear diapers. Yeah, I would too, dude. Burj Khalifa. The Burj Khalifa. Wiz Khalifa. Yeah, here it is right here. Here it is. It was just attacked. That's the same thing we just watched. Let me try to find some pictures. So that's what you were saying, Shiva, my bad. Kumar, what do you want me to call you, my brother? Thank you, Thunder, brother. Thank you, Thunder. Let me find the one. 830 million property, the world's tallest skyscraper 3 hours ago. That's all right, brother. It's all right. That's all right. All right. Why did Dubai get hit though? So so we're hearing propaganda from both sides, right? And we don't know exactly what the truth is. So what we're hearing here is that the Iranians, well, first of all, they're broken up. Their security forces, not the Iranian people, the Iranian army. They're broken up into a set, and communications are down between them, jammed, and their GPS is jammed. So we did that before we attacked. We jammed their GPS. So their GPS guided missiles, and this could be a problem, or they could have did it themselves. They're also using drones because the GPS is down. The drones have to be piloted, like, from the ground, but still you can't just say drone, click here, hit here, use your GPS and go do it, because their GPS has been jammed. Well, that may be why they're not happening there. I doubt the GPS in Dubai is jammed, and that may be why they're just like, we wanted to watch the world burn. Yeah, not going to Dubai. Me neither, brother. That's why actually another 5-star hotel was on fire at Burj Khalifa, like a mile away. Somebody said there was a hit at the base of it, and this was Burj Khalifa hit by a missile. Yeah, so here, sorry. Yeah. So that there, I don't know if it's the mile away or whatnot. I don't know if this is the thing. Everybody wants the clicks and views off of it, so they're getting something, and they make, they're just like, oh, they tried to take that down. Yeah, and we don't really know, because they know who is Trump's boss. It's Shiva. Okay. A mile away, right? The IRGC are the Iranian regulars. Yes, that would be an expensive hit. Absolutely, that would be Burj Khalifa, heart of Dubai, worth 1.5 billion, overlooking the Dubai cityscape. Massive structure draws millions. Live updates. It's in Rush. There you go. Look, made sure they said this. The skyscraper is insured, just like the Twin Towers were insured, for roughly 1.5 billion. Okay, but yeah, make sure that part. Okay, explosions. Dubai has been a major city hit by the Iranian valve. Okay, a decisive response against the strike. Okay, Dubai has been one of the major cities in the Gulf region that felt the brunt of the Middle East chaos as Iran vowed decisive response against them. An explosion was reported at the Palm Jumeirah. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm still learning freaking Arabic. Where's the word? Palm Jumeirah. Earlier that day, with a building seen and a man-made island. Visuals show black smoke from the man-made island while Dubai residents were... There was a video of a missile flying past it, and then it detonated in the air. Let me see if I can find that. The other people living in the top levels are already like in a ship due to a massive... Right, yeah, right. Can you imagine? Have you ever seen the sway mass damper in there? Look at this. The mass damper Burj Khalifa. Check this out. It's a big old hunk of, look at this.
So we're here in the
It's a big ass hunk of steel, like a couple of tons. And so when the building sways to the left, it moves to the right to try to dampen out the movement of the mass. Check this out.
101 building. This is the damper system.
Yeah, they definitely insured it.
Describes it and compares the design, which apparently originated in Japan, is used in different skyscrapers, like in the Yokohama building and the Trump World Tower and others. It appears that what's going on here is we've got a big weight suspended from the building here,
that's what they said.
with shock absorbers. You see, we've got
Taipei, yep. Oh, that what this one? Oh, sorry, I went the wrong way.
Including lateral and twist.
Oh, sorry.
Very curious design.
Start us back.
This over here describes it and compares the design, which apparently originated in Japan.
Yeah.
This is used in different skyscrapers, like in the Yokohama building and the Trump World Tower and others.
No, That's okay. That's Taipei. Okay, like I said, massive. It says Burj. Oh, maybe I looked at the wrong thing. High-rise buildings, Burj Khalifa, mass damper. Okay, here we go.
How does the world's tallest building not get blown over by the wind? The Burj Khalifa was designed like a spiraling Y, This shape breaks up wind flow, so there's no direct force pushing it over. This buttressed core and its tapering tiers confuse the wind, reducing dangerous vortex shedding, the kind that can make buildings sway. Plus, its super strong reinforced concrete core anchors it deep into the ground.
Okay, he doesn't know. World's largest damper. That's the same thing. Burj Khalifa. Maybe they don't have a video of it. Let's see what it says. The Burj Khalifa uses primary insulation against wind, doing a shredding wide design that breaks up wind. Single mass damper uses other rather than okay. So they don't use one. Sorry. Some sources mention internal smaller scale dampening systems, but instead they use the confuse the wind design. So my apologies. Yeah. So that one does not contain that. It's got. Some reports suggest the presence of traditional tuned mass dampers, TBMD, and multiple smaller ones to minimize vibrations in the building shape, depending on the construction. It doesn't say why they don't know if it has it or not. I guess the details are not known, so you don't know where the weak point is. You got surveillance state growing every day, right? Yep, that's exactly right what happened. Not the limiting factor for the hiding place. That's exactly right. So you have what's called, so you have to be able to pump water up. Gravity will take the water down. So do you know what they do? They collect, I don't know about the Burj Khalifa, but in very tall skyscrapers, they collect water at the top so they don't have to pump it from the bottom to the top. And then the top areas of the buildings, because you have a limit to how high you can pump water up. You have, you have a ton of 1,000 pounds of force pushing down per square foot. Pushing down, and that's pushing down on the water, pushing it down the pipes, and as you stack it, it gets exponentially more, not exponentially more, and so it collects water that rains up at the top, and then they have to be able to use bathroom facilities at the top. So yeah, it can drop when you flush the toilet, it can drop down, but you have a limited amount. So they get water from the ground up to the points they can, and then from the top, from where they collect to the top parts. That's that. Yep. What up, student of war? I wish Veritas and Richard went back together. I understand it. Yeah. The San Francisco Leaning Tower problem. It's 58 stories. A 58-story, $200 million Millennium Tower, and they freaking did it wrong. In 2009, built onto piles that were driven into soft clay and sand rather than bedrock. Stuff we've known for thousands of years. And they were like, man, this might work. It's so crazy. Then they need a $120 million retrofit to anchor the building to the bedrock. That's so crazy. The UAE ruler just fled to Qatar. Maybe if they utilized Da Vinci's Arc, that would work better, because then it's not just pushing the water down on the water. The water would be pushing against the screw. So yeah, that would be a better, but it would be so expensive to make those rather than just a pump at the bottom, right? So it's a balance. If they wanted to do it, they could. If they wanted to say unlimited money, absolutely they could do that. Veritas, doing good. You schizophrenic by chance? No. I used to think I was, and then they said it was ADHD, and it ended up being a B12 deficiency. But no, yeah, I'm just hyper. Blessings, brother. What up? Okay, let's see what they got. If they got a short video on this, we'll see. Millennium Tower lean. Living in San Francisco.
This is the story of San Francisco's most infamous building. When the Millennium Tower opened in 2009, it was one of the most acclaimed residential buildings in the entire world. Award-winning architecture, hotel-like amenities, and grand residences with views spanning across the entire city. But when it was discovered that the building's structure...
This is Sudan is unbelievable that we have people arguing over all these other smaller wars when hundreds of thousands of people are being slaughtered in the Sudan, the North and South Sudan, fighting. Yeah, no, that breaks the narrative. So that's why they don't talk about it. Listen, the narrative is very finely tuned, and if the Sudan was made too public, especially in America, it would break the narrative.
Structural integrity was compromised, endangering residents.
Right. So check this out, Veritas. Check this out. Vitamin B12 and ADHD. So check this out. So almost every adult and child with ADHD has a B12 deficiency, and being deficient in B12 may exacerbate brain function, and it mocks the symptoms of ADHD. So instead of them saying, oh, it's a B12 deficiency, they said, oh, it's ADHD. Instead of giving people B12 for it, they start giving them speed. Here's another problem where science and medicine said if the problem is this and let's give them something, a pharmaceutical, when the problem most likely was just a vitamin deficiency because we all eat like crap, right? And then also the fluoride and the chlorine in the water keep the body from absorbing B12 from natural sources, right? Yep, I agree, right, because they said it was this make-believe thing that you can't test for with blood. When you do test their blood, most people are that have ADHD symptoms are B12 deficient, right?
And passersby. Lawsuits were filed left and right, and the issues cost residents, the developer, and contractors hundreds of millions of dollars and completely tanked property values in the building. But after years of planning and construction, the building structure has been stabilized, giving renewed optimism and hope for this luxury building, which remains an icon of luxury living in San Francisco with A+ amenities and staff. I made a YouTube video going over the storied history of this iconic building in San Francisco, including what's been going on with sales and home prices at the building. I bet you'll be pretty surprised by some of that data. Comment the word video, and I'll send you a link, and follow me for more Bay Area real estate.
God created the greedy UAE situation really changed my perspective about the UAE. Such a small country, but they use their RPF force legally to kill Christians. Right. And this is a big problem. People don't understand that what's going on here is a religious war. No matter what you want to think, that's what's going on now. You have a Christian in office in the United States, and now things are getting cleaned up because they don't advertise about it. They don't talk about it. They don't care that Christians aren't the victims. Now, regardless if they're right or wrong, there are a bunch of people that identify as Christians that are not safe in the world. Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. The more you know. All right, I got. Oh, I'm 5 minutes over. Okay, everybody, listen. I'm gonna go hang out with my family for about a half hour. Minecraft at 8 o'clock. Senfei, brother. Yeah, Trump's a Christian. Yes. Oval Office prayer day with Trump.
This morning, I'm pleased to announce that on May 17th, 2026, that we're inviting Americans from all across the country to come together on our national mall to pray, to give thanks, and we are going to do something that everyone said, that's tough. We're going to rededicate America as one nation under God.
Bam, there you go. All right, everybody. I love you guys. I'll see you guys back in a couple of minutes. I hope you're enjoying your I'm not Jewish, my brother. He's cosplaying a Christian. But yeah. Well, he might be cosplaying. That's true, right? That's we could go by what people say and their actions, but I'm right there with you too, Borchell, brother. All right, love you guys. I'll see you guys back in a bit. Bye.